The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile, tablet or PC.
Hello and welcome along. It's Friday. It's officially the happiest day of the year, and hopefully the weekend Racing Postcast will make you even happier. I'm Bruce Millington. That's Graham Rodway, and Paul Keeley's with us as well as from Paddy Power, Brendan Duke. We are setting the scene and picking apart the big races, mainly the Goodwood, final day of glorious Goodwood, but we've also got 2 more days of the mousetrap of the festival world. That's obviously the Galway Festival, and there is a fantastic Group 1 in Deauville on Sunday, which we will be getting stuck into. But chaps, first of all, how has it been for you so far? Has Goodwood been glorious or gory?
No, it's been fairly good from a punting perspective, just lumping on these Aidan O'Brien good things, just following the money. I mean, it's very boring, and it's a bit dumb punterish, isn't it? But it seems to be the way to go nowadays at these big festivals. Well,
they always say, don't they, that the Shrewdies do their brains at Cheltenham every year, don't they? You just follow the Willie Mullins money, and you can't go wrong. No, and you're applying that theory to Aidan, are you?
I mean, having seen the way they punted Highland Reel last week, and that absolutely hacked up. Then they punted Warder Cree, that one. Then the Gurkha, that one. Then the 2-year-old Rhododendron, that one. And
the only one I've backed was the 2-year-old that finished third. What was that one yesterday? What's the thing behind?
Innocent. I mean,
yeah,
called?
That didn't help. So that
they
theory
didn't
took a knock there.
Did they?
I think it's pretty well backed. Keels, what about you? You said this time last week that it's a licence to print money, Glorious Goodwood. So are the printing presses flowing, or have they ground to a halt?
They were on Tuesday. I mean, I smashed the ball out of the park Tuesday. I had firefighting. I had a couple of quid on Elidor. I had a decent bet on Boom the Groom at 16s. Went off 13-2. And I backed Desert Haze 13-2 as well. And I even managed to top it up by backing the winner with a big race at Galway that night as just a little bit of a press-up without really looking. Would have been better for me if my old mate Top Notch Tonto had won, but he finished second. Since then, it has been pretty much carnage. I haven't done anything at all. Everything I've backed has run terribly.
You're still confident, though, Kills?
Yeah, I'm way in front. I won't be way in front. I have 2 more days like I had on Wednesday and Thursday, but... You know, you got to go in with confidence, haven't you?
You certainly do. Are you feeling confident, Brendan? Are you feeling happy? Graham Rodway tells us it's the happiest day of the year.
Oh, I am feeling happy, yes. I had a very pleasant cycle in this morning. And it rained overnight, actually, which always gives me a lift when I wake up that the rain has gone away overnight and I've slept through it. So I've arbed the weather, effectively. So I had a lovely cycle in.
What do you wear when you're cycling? Do you have all the gear, or do you wear your normal office wear?
Oh no! I have shorts and I have an all-purpose jacket, which is a waterproof jacket. Although it's a remarkable thing. I mean, it must rain a lot in Ireland because
we know that.
Well, it's the Emerald Isle. But if you talk to cyclists or farmers, it's very rare I actually have to get the wet gear out. And farmers will tell you the same thing. It doesn't rain nearly as much as people think.
Just when I'm over there. That jacket then, how versatile is it? What? So you wear it for cycling to work. What's the most sort of formal occasion you wear it for? Could you get away with it at maybe a christening or something?
Oh, I don't know about a christening. I have worn it to the races though. If I'm in work and then I need a jacket, say it's an evening meeting or something, I have worn it to the races. You could probably plug it into a christening.
Well, they don't have the silly rules on having to look particularly smart over in Ireland in the same
No. They trust people to dress themselves over here. Yes, indeed.
Says the man who doesn't own a necktie. OK, right, let's get stuck in then. Goodwood on Saturday, 3:45, the Qatar Stewards Cup, zillion runners as ever. And not easy. There's a couple of horses dominating the market. Brendan Duke, how do Paddy Power bet on the Stewards?
Yes, 6-1 Joint Favs, Orion's Bow and Dancing Star, 10-1 Kimberella and Toofy, 12-1 Growl, 14-1 Ridge Ranger, 16-1 brings in Alban Star, Sir Robert Cheval and Hold Tight, and 20's Bar.
Graham Rodway, we'll start with you. Who's going to win?
I looked at this race and there were about 6 or 7 obviously that jumped out. I'm sure a lot of other people will say the same. I'm going to come down on 2. I've had this race in mind for Toofy for ages. I think it was second last year. It was on the wrong side that day. Stayed on really well. It was a bit of an eye catcher last time out. Obviously Robert Kell just wins all these sprints and he's a fantastic trainer of sprinters. I'll be back in Toofy from stall 23. And I'm also going to back, I've got to find it now, Blaine, which is David Nicholls, one of his battalion. It's getting back to the old days almost, isn't it? With David Nicholls having a bunch of runners in the Stewards Cup, 2 really well fancied ones, including a favourite that's dotted up 5 times in a row. I mean, it's almost like we've turned back the clock 10 years. But I do think Blaine could run really well at big price. Absolutely bolted up at Epsom when he was thrown in. Oh, it's been disappointing since, but I can't believe that he wouldn't have had Goodwood on the agenda since he bolted up that day, and I'll give him one more chance at huge price.
Okay, Kills, will the draw be significant? Where do you want to be, do you think?
Well, everyone seemed to want to be yesterday. They wanted to go sort of low to middle rather than anywhere else. I mean, statistically, you probably would have a slight edge over time on the fast side, but I don't think there'd be much in it. I mean, there's not a vast amount of pace across the track, to be honest. So I wouldn't completely rule out the chances of anything drawn high, which is quite handy, really, because I backed Kimberella, who was drawn in stall 21. Now, he won last week at York, and I had a decent each-way bet on the second, Intisab. And from after a furlong, there was no way there was going to be any other winner than Kimberella.
Did it on the snaff, as they say,
he was
didn't
just cantering all over him. If he's in the same sort of form, then he just has to go close. It is an extremely open race. I also back Ridge Ranger because I just think she's just improved. Although she's going to have to be very, very good to win off 109. I have been waiting for a while. I said after Hold Tight run in the Victoria Cup that this horse needs dropping back to 6 furlongs, and he's run at 7 furlongs twice since, not run badly, and now he's sort of squeezed in near the bottom. But there are loads of horses here that could win this. I think it's far more open than it was last year, when Magical Memory was a good thing.
And obviously the boy McDonald is a big benefit to Hold Tight. I think his little stint's over, isn't it? He's been good, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's off after tomorrow, isn't he? And I think he might have a winner tomorrow, even if it isn't Hold Tight. So
we'll wait for that.
So yeah, I think it's it's a really tough race. Orion's Bow is just he absolutely hacked up at Hamilton last time, and that was that made it sort of 5 in a row. It was soft ground, so he might have been a little bit flattered by the winning margin, but he did it really easily. And then you got the 3-year-old Dancing Star, who ran in same 2 races that Magical Memory ran in last year before it.
Did us a massive favour, didn't he?
Yeah, won that race at Newmarket. There was a 50 grand handicap at Newmarket last week, featuring the 2nd, 5th, 7th, and 8th from the Dancing Stars race. They finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th.
Franking.
So, I thought you were going to say something else then.
Frankel, right, almost.
Yeah. So the form is really, really good, obviously, as you would expect from a big race. And she's got, she's related to Locksong, who won this in 1992. She's got to have a chance.
So just summarise then, Kills, what should the listeners be doing? And viewers, of course. Hello, we're filming this week, so you can see our ugly mugs on the website. What's the strategy?
Strategy, back one either side. If you're going to do it, give yourself at least one run.
And those two are?
We'll see the first 2. Well, I back Kimberella. I've already forgotten what side Hold Tight is on, and I can't see it because of what's it now.
Oh yeah, there's a staple in the way, isn't
there? Good.
He's drawn 17.
He's on 17, which is no good. Well, I'll stick with Kimberella and Ridge Ranger then, because Ridge Ranger's drawn 2.
All right then, Brendan Duke. I'm sure you've spent all week poring over this race. What are the fruits of your labour?
I came up with Toofy as well. I thought it was it was like a social butterfly of a ride in Ascot. He couldn't decide which group he wanted to be in. So I don't think it was seen to best effect there. Backed off the boards on its second start for Kell.
Has he got a name, this horse?
Oh, Toofy. Did I mention Toofy?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said you went for 2, like Kills has.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
no,
you've
Toofy.
gone for Toofy. Pardon me. Sorry.
Toofy as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so second last year off £4 lower, and I think he'll go well.
Couple of weeks since stable had a winner. Did that slightly bother you? I mean, a couple of them have run okay, but quite a lot haven't run that well at all.
Yeah, it wasn't something I'd picked up on now. He's had plenty of them placed though, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know. Like he said, he's had a few run well, but I mean, I think
I suppose Prince of Lear
biggest
ran
red herring
badly
in racing, that stable form.
Oh,
unless the trainer comes out and says they've been coughing, and they've all been running like absolute cart horses. Then
yeah.
I must admit, I completely agree with you, Bruce. I just think it's one of the most overplayed facts in racing.
Yeah. There's no logic to it, is there? Why would they all suddenly run well or all suddenly run badly? Don't get it. Okay, much simpler, we presume, is the 310, the Qatar Nassau Stakes, in which I'm going to say, unfortunately, Minding runs, because Kills, you mentioned it today in your column. We want to see Minding take on all age and all sexes now, don't we? This needs to be a last run against the fillies.
Yeah, you bang on. I can understand them running it, and the Ballydoyle MO. They want to make stallions. They're not worried about mares, and and she can just carry on. She can go and run in the Yorkshire Oaks. She can go and run, in other races that are confined only to fillies.
To be fair, that is what they're meant to do.
That's what they're meant to do. But when you see one
but
that's sort of extra special, you want them to take on, because racing's about the best taking on the best, and she might be the best 3-year-old in Europe, and I hope we find out. But they're not going to make a stallion out of a horse that finishes second to Mindon in the Arc or the Champion Stakes or anything like that, are they? So that's the worry, that she'll just carry on beating up the same horses and it'll become a bit dull. I mean, she's a wonderful horse to watch because she really, really is good, and I'll enjoy watching the race, but I'd enjoy watching her beat better horses than the one she's running against.
Who's the forecast good thing, Kills?
I think Swiss Range just got stuck in the mud last time, didn't she? So I think she'll be far better this time.
G-Rod, you got strong thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, mine is going to win easily, and Swiss Range is going to follow her home. I think Swiss Range is a Group 1 filly. She's just not a Group 1 filly of the same class as Minding.
Okay. Brendan, how do you bet?
2-7 Minding, 8-1 Swiss Range, 12-1 both Beautiful Romance and Queen's Trust, and 20-1 Gemael.
And is there a betting edge that you can exploit, Brendan?
Yeah, well, I'm in danger of gloating a bit here, but I've already backed Minding for this.
Of course you have. Yeah, because you were getting very wobbly when I raised the possibility of her running in the King George.
Well, this is the problem with anti-post betting. It's no way to live. I mean, you heard a whisper, and I didn't sleep for 3 days afterwards.
Oh, but, blimey, sorry about that.
Well, look, these are the perils of it. I need to relax more.
You need to remember that I know absolutely nothing and don't believe my whispers. But come on, make us all absolutely green with envy. What price have you backed her at?
2-1.
Oh, blimey, that's not a bad shout, is it? Will you be backwardating, which is the posh word for arbing, someone told me the other day?
No. I find someone said to me before, and I think it's quite sound advice, you either trade out every time or never. I'm not a trader, and I think with anti-post betting, enough of them don't get there, that the ones that do get there, you have to stick it out with them and hope you get paid.
Good on you. Okay, right. The start of the Goodwood card tomorrow features a decent, very competitive sprint. The Stewards Sprint Stakes. It's the old consolation race, isn't it? And Kills, we'll start with you because I think you've got a fairly strong fancy, haven't you? Named after a legendary Wolves striker.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have known that.
You must have heard of Derek Dugan.
Nope.
Okay.
You know me, football and music, know nothing about either. I like Dugan. I think he's a horse that's been crying out for a really, really strong run race over 6 furlongs. And even though there isn't a huge amount of pace in this race, they're running downhill. They will go fast. They got dropped back to 5 furlong last time. He was just running on far too late. Finished 1 pace ahead of Boom the Groom, who bolted up on Tuesday. He was only beaten 2.5 lengths or so. I think he'll come flying through. Slightly worried again. He's got a high draw. If the trainers and connections are right that you want to be low this year, but I think he's just got to go very, very well against. A lot of these are fairly exposed.
Okay, even allowing for your lack of music knowledge, the bottom horse there, Fairway to Heaven, which legendary 70s song? Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. Who had the hit with that?
No idea.
G-Rod?
No, sorry, I couldn't tell you.
Brendan, Duke, help us out here.
Pink Floyd, I think.
No, Led Zeppelin.
Oh, no.
Goodness.
Oh, poor show. Philistines. Philistines to a man, I'm afraid, Bruce.
I cannot believe it. Okay, well, never mind that. The boys are here for their racing expertise, not their music. So, Kills likes Dugan. G-Rod, who do you like?
Yeah, I like Dugan as well. Been on my radar for quite some time. This horse, I thought it was a big eye catcher at Newmarket earlier in the season when running on nicely from off the pace. Was given an awful lot to do that day and did well to get as close as he did. Ran well at Newbury next time, feeling the same position. And then, as Kills already said, I mean, back from break last time at Ascot over an adequate trip over 5 furlongs, running on nicely towards the finish. Looked like an ideal prep run for a race like this. I'm expecting Dugan to come on for the run.
Have you bet this race yet, Brendan?
No, we haven't, unfortunately.
What are you hoping for, Kills?
I don't know.
Realistically.
12-ish. I mean, he won't be favourite. I mean, I'm assuming that there'll be a fairly strong favourite in projection here, the Roger Charlton 3-year-old, who was 4th first time out in Dancing Stars race at Newmarket. We obviously mentioned that form's really strong. He's next door to Dugan in stall 22 with Ryan Moore on, so you'd imagine he's going to be probably a stronger favourite in that race than the favourites will be in the Stewards Cup.
He's a huge player in his projection. I mean, he deserves favourite, but I don't see too much between himself and Dugan. And at the prices, I'm expecting double the price on Dugan.
Look at Keels out of shot there. He's desperate to have a go on his vaping thing.
I'm not allowed to do
Fiddling with that.
They couldn't see me across the room a few minutes ago.
Brendan, have you sussed one here?
Nothing particularly strong, but maybe Barn Affair. He's technically £3 wrong now because he's been in such dismal form this year. But Dandy's going well. He likes Goodwood. He was second in this last year, off quite a bit higher. I think £9 higher. So I'd maybe chance him.
Okay, 2:45 at Goodwood tomorrow. We've got the Qatar handicap over 1.5 miles. Doesn't get much easier. This does it. Kills, you go first.
Yeah, this is a real tricky race. Obviously, you've got loads of improving 3-year-olds. Lots of 1s, 2s and 3s next to their name. They're all running well. Knight's Table's on a 4-timer, and I thought he quickened away really nicely to win at Ripon last time. They probably didn't go particularly fast early on, but in the last 2 furlongs there was about 4 lengths between the whole field, and him and the runner-up Jamé, who's down the bottom from Mark Johnson, they pulled well clear, and he won by 2 lengths. So I think he'd go well. It wouldn't surprise me. You know what Mark Johnston's like. He teases horses up for Goodwood. He loves Goodwood.
He's having a good week, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't surprise me if Jamé came on again and proved a big danger. Loads of dangers in here anyway, but I do like Knight's Table.
Could be a decent race, couldn't it? Pether's Moon and Dartmouth have won it before and gone on to greater things. G-Rod, who do you like?
Yeah, I want to be back in Dale Herald. Was impressive winner a couple of starts ago, and I thought should have won last time out. Ascot was given an awful lot to do. Came from a long way behind in what's quite a hot race. I think Manjam won it. The only problem is I'll be absolutely gutted if Paris Protocol beats him, because I back that horse every time.
Back that as well then.
So yeah, maybe I'll have a little bit each round.
No,
that was
no
sixth
law
in the
against
same race. But yeah, Dale Herald's will be favourite, but I expect he'll win.
Brendan, who do you like?
I like Move Up. I was convinced Gershwin was the best handicapped horse in the country before his run the last day in Ascot, and he managed to beat him. Now, I may have been wrong, but Gershwin was definitely well handicapped, and this horse ran him down. Real grind and game performance. Should improve for the extra 2 furlongs. I think he'd be hard to beat.
When are you going to learn? King Rafe has got one in here. Gold Faith.
Gold Faith.
Do not ignore the greatest trainer. A quick word on the rest of the Goodwood card. Has anyone got anything that they fancy but isn't their best bet of the weekend?
Lockheed will definitely win the maiden, I'd say.
Okay.
Is that 4:20? A massive eye catcher first time out behind 7 Heavens, a Frankel son. I thought travelled all over that, but was on the wrong side of the track. Wasn't given a hard time, but I don't think you're going to get any sort of prize. You're probably going to be looking short. Anything
else before we switch our attention to Newmarket? Kills?
No.
Okay, mate.
No, because the best bet of the day is at Goodwood.
Okay, right. Well, we'll save that and we'll come back with Newmarket in just a mo.
Here's Paddy Power's latest offer for glorious Goodwood. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP5 in every single race throughout the festival. Max £25 per race, 18+. Please gamble responsibly.
Welcome back, Bruce Millington, Graham Rodway, Paul Keeley, and from Paddy Power, Brendan Duke. We've looked at Goodwood on Saturday. Time to look at Newmarket on Sunday. Couple of races live on the box, 2:15 and the 2:50. G-Rod, what floats your boat in those 2 contests?
I thought Abingdon might win the 2:15. Words are that it's been working well with Queen's Trust, who obviously runs in the Nassau Stakes, and this is a listed event. It's got a little bit to find on form, but it's typical Sir Michael Stout improver, coming in off the back of 2 wins. You'd expect it to find significant progress. Queen's Trust is rated 105. You'd kind of think that she would go close in this race if she was here. So if the rumours are right, Abingdon might win that one.
Okay. Keels, anything at Newmarket for us?
Not in that race. I did like the nursery handicap. Where is it? There it is.
250.
Yeah, 250. Paco's Angel. Quite interested. Richard Hughes. I'm sure he would have loved a winner at Goodwood this week, but I'm not sure whether he had a runner. But Paco's Angel was entered in the nursery. Decided to go for this one instead at Newmarket, the fillies race. Paco's Angel, second on the first 2 starts. The second time to Mrs. Danvers, who won the
Super Sprint.
Won the Super Sprint. Then won as maiden, absolutely crying out for another furlong. I think it's probably quite nicely treated off a mark of 76.
I haven't had a sneaky peek at his column yet, but do read Richard Hughes tomorrow, where I'm sure he'll be giving us the lowdown on Paco's Angel, and if he's seen any other fights at Lingfield, he'll be writing about that as well. Brennan Duke, anything for you to report from Newmarket that we should be thinking of backing?
Well, it's always fascinating, this nursery, because, excuse me, you might remember it from such wholesale gambles as Jay Wonder and Enlace in the last few years. Absolutely off the boards. And I think we might see another one tomorrow with this Parsnip. Cost a load of money, Michael Bell, and it was in now a pretty ordinary maiden, Chepstow maiden, but couldn't give it away in the betting. Absolutely bolted up. The handicapper's given it 80. Probably couldn't have given it any more, given the race of one and what have you, but I'd expect a lot of improvement, and I could see this one being very popular in the betting.
That's a lovely name, isn't it? If I had a racehorse, I'd hope I'd give it a nice name like Parsnip. You imagine in 10 years' time, you'll be in a field and you say to the person looking after her, what's she called? You say Parsnip. And you say, was that a racehorse? You say, well, what was its racing name? And they say, no, it was Parsnip as well. It's a really lovely name, that, isn't it? Yeah. Very big fan of that one. Well, hopefully Parsnip will run well. Right, OK. Over to you then, Brendan, because the lads are a little bit Galway shy as far as Saturday goes. So just take over the centre stage and just tell us the horses we should be back in Galway on Saturday.
Galway on Saturday, Elusive Ivy. This was brought down at the third last earlier in the week when still travelling away. The jockeys are positive. The yard, the boy Cromwell is flying. That should go very close. And Capri runs in the maiden. This is the horse that launched 1,000 horse trackers at the Curragh the last day. That should be winning. He's only 20 to 1 for the Derby with us. A horse with a big future.
OK, right, jolly good. I think we'll get the Saturday best bets.
This will not be beaten.
We'll start with you, Graham Rodway. The name of the horse, the meeting and the time, and a very brief reason why we should lump on.
Del Herald, 235 at Goodwood. Should have won last time at Ascot and will do tomorrow.
Paul Keeley.
Right, yeah, if I can find it, because he hasn't put it on me thingy. I think it is the 5:45. No,
there isn't a 5:45.
Well, I was looking at Newmarket and I will pillock.
That's all right.
Right, hang on one sec.
Could it be the 6 o'clock? What's the name of the horse?
It's the 4:55 at Goodwood, and it is Charlie Appleby, James McDonald, Venturous. He's stepping up to 7 furlongs. He's running those 2 big sprints for 3-year-olds. He was 4th to Mr. Lupton at York. He was 11th to Dancing Star, come out of stall 1, found some trouble in running. He'd probably been 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that, but that is red hot form. He's got a decent draw. If James McDonald can get him settled, he runs like he wants another furlong now. And then if James McDonald gets him settled, he will win.
If naught is a 10p bet and 10 is the biggest bet you've ever had, what's the sort of staking range for this one?
7.
Okay, so that's pretty good, isn't it? You'll be piling in.
Yeah, I'll be going in, yeah.
Jolly good. Brennan Duke, what's your Saturday nap?
Move up. I'm afraid I'm butting heads with Graham here, but move up in the 235.
You've seen the size of Graham's head.
It's not that big, is it? Has he got a notoriously big head?
No, he's just huge all round, isn't he? He's about 6'5".
Huge? Blimey.
Depends how many winners I've had.
Oh, who's talking, AJ, right?
I'm wide, I'm not tall.
So move up for you. OK, well, the boys are locking horns there, so maybe if you want to do the forecast or do a bit of Dutching there, that's fine. And we will be back to look at some really good action on Sunday.
Here's Paddy Power's latest offer for Galway. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes 2nd or 3rd in one race every day of the festival. Max £25 per race, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Welcome back, Bruce Millington, Graham Rodway, Paul Keeley, and from Paddy Power, Brendan Duke. By the way, Brendan, is that the bloke from Peep Show who does the voiceovers for your adverts? I can never tell. You know, what's he called? Mark Thingamajig. Do you watch Peep Show?
Yeah, I do watch it. No,
is that him?
No, I don't think so. He's gone and moved on to bigger and better things than that, hasn't he?
Well, I don't know. You've got one of the biggest marketing budgets in the whole of the game, haven't you? I mean,
have we?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. No,
it's normally Finchy from The Office that does voiceovers, isn't it? He's got about 80% of the market, and then the fella from Peep Show does the rest.
But yeah, it's a pity it's not Super Hands from Peep Show doing them all, actually. I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, another one that's drifted straight. Are you a Peep Show fan, Kills?
Been to see a few Peep Shows.
Well, let's not go there. Steve Palmer's favourite programme, Peep Show. Absolutely loves it. It's brilliant. OK, right. So let's look at. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Galway first. If there's anything at Chester anyone likes, and then a really, really good Sunday treat at Deauville. So again, it's all over to you, Brennan, for Galway because the lads haven't got a clue.
OK, Sea Light, you probably saw this earlier in the week. This is one that got away from Davy Russell, a huge Charles Burns gamble. Should have won, didn't. I'd say it'll just be a horse we cannot get under. We'll price it with all this, we'll factor all this in, and the punters will still just want to get their money back, and they probably will. And maybe the the best handicapped horse of the week in Galway runs on Sunday. It won't be much of a price now, but Tarazani. This hasn't run since it finished third in the Cork Maiden, behind Harzand and Swordfighter and ahead of Qatari Hunter. And I'd say the reason he hasn't run is because he's off 78, and they said, "Oh, we win a Galway handicap with him," so he'll be very short in a handicap, but should win.
Okay, thank you very much. Have you had a look at Chester Sunday, lads?
Yeah, I've had a brief look, and just noted that Eastern Impact has drawn stall 2 in the 3:15, the listed sprint that he won last year. I can't imagine it'll be a massive price. It's a competitive race, but he was 6th in the July Cup. He's just a consistent horse, always runs well. I think he should go close.
Jolly good. Right, well, definitely the Sunday highlight in terms of quality takes place at Deauville at 3:15. It's the pre-Rothschild for 3-year-old fillies over the mile, and Paddy Power bet as follows, Brendan Duke.
Hell of a race, Bruce. 5-2 Kima, 3-1 Alice Springs, 5-1 Lumiere, 6-1 Volta, 8-1 Esoteric, 11-1 Impassable, 12-1 Amazing Maria and Spectre, and 25's Bar.
What a race, eh, lads? Isn't that a beauty?
What
I'll
a
tell you
treat.
what, given that you were the one who was giving it the big up earlier on, Brendan, we'll stick with you for the winner.
I'm going to go for Alice. Just the way, as Graham was mentioning, some of these Aidan O'Brien punts of late that have been coming off, and they absolutely hosed her out of it in Newmarket, suggesting that she's improved. And she was a little unlucky, in fairness, behind Kima and Ascot. So she could easily improve again, and I think she'll win.
Okay, have you ever been to Deauville, Brendan?
No, I haven't. The lads went. I was invited. I should have gone. Really, they went for the breeze ups this year, and the Guineas was on as a little bonus for them as well. They said it's beautiful, expensive place now, but
It's
beautiful.
expensive, but Paddy Power pick up the X's. You should go. It's beautiful. As it kills. You made your debut last summer, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good fun.
Do you remember we were in that really lovely hotel, weren't we? Really beautiful, overlooking the ocean, the boulevard. There's all cafes and restaurants.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And your favourite feature of the hotel was it at SIS?
Yeah,
wasn't it?
SIS in the bedroom was great.
So we were sitting there. I think it was that Great St Wilfrid day.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
That's
I
right,
loved every minute of it. All I'm going to say is the French don't do casinos very well, do they? It was about 4 spins an hour on the roulette, wasn't it?
And yeah, minimum chip size was a little bit over and above what I'm looking at. But it was a lovely place, isn't it? Very good.
Yeah,
so, Kills, who do you like for this race then?
Yeah, well, I remember. I mean, I had a decent bet on Nemeralia, and I thought she was my first thought was that she was unlucky. Then I saw Alice Springs, and I thought she was unlucky. Then I had another look at it, and then I thought Kamar just won easily. And I think she might just be slightly better than the rest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Alice Springs is obviously she's one of those fillies that just keeps going forwards and forwards and forwards. But I thought Kamar won with a bit in hand. And if you can see me 5-2, 1, 3-1 against the other, I'd take the 5-2.
Good to see Minding in here, wouldn't it? I know she's a mile and a half now, a mile and a quarter, but
she'd still win it.
She still knows what she's doing over a mile, doesn't she? Who do you like, Graham?
I just wonder if the ground might be a bit soft for Alice Springs. I'm a massive fan of hers, but she moves really well, and I think that she was really suited by the ground at Newmarket. And as a result, I'll go for the other one that I liked, which is Lumiere. Mark Johnston's absolutely hosed up at Newmarket in obviously a much weaker race, but it was a decent time and has always looked like a Group 1 filly in the making. I think she'll do it.
I'm going to agree with you. I think she's a bit of value. Jolly good. Okay, thank you very much, chaps. I think that's pretty much it. There's nothing else on Sunday anyone wants to plug, is there, or promote? No?
No.
G-Rod, what's the weekend hold?
I'm working Saturday, and then Sunday I've got my Mrs. Granny over from Cork, so the whole Sunday is pretty much based around getting her back to the airport safely. She's 91 years old.
I thought your wife was from Canada.
Yeah, she is, but her dad's Irish.
All right.
Yeah, so she's a bit of mixed.
So you've got to get her to Stansted.
So I've got to get her up to Stansted, 91
and then they'll
years
look
old,
after her, will they?
And then make sure that she gets home safely. Otherwise, I'll be in for it.
Blimey. Okay, Kills, what about you?
Yeah, I've been promising to cut the grass for about 6 weeks, still haven't done it. So, I mean, that could end up taking half a bleeding day. But
the longer you leave it, the worse it is, of course, isn't it?
But, hangovers are always a possibility on Saturdays anyway.
Are you out tonight then?
Probably, yeah. Don't know where yet, but probably.
Okay.
Sunday may well be a trip to the cinema.
What are you going to see?
Well, I was hoping to see Star Trek, but I think Finding Dory is odds on.
I actually want to see Finding Dory. Finding Nemo was so good. I definitely want to do that. Brendan, the rota was cruel with you last week. You worked both days. Surely you've got some time off this weekend, haven't you?
I do. I'm off on Saturday and working Sunday.
And
so
what are you going to do Saturday? You won't be cutting the grass, will you? You lead a far more glamorous life than that, don't you? You have someone to do that.
I haven't quite got a gardener at this stage, but I did cut it a couple of weeks ago. It was great drying out, and I cut it. So I've probably got 4 or 5 weeks in hand.
Are you laid mainly to lawn out the back?
Yeah, it's all grass basically, and my mother put down a few plants as well that seem to sort of look after themselves. Luckily enough, because indoor plants don't do well under my care.
Okay, mate.
So it's grand. It's pretty much just cut it, and then I do have a guy who comes once a year actually to trim back hedges and what have you. Absolutely fearless, this guy. He'd be standing on the top of a ladder.
How scary is it trimming edges?
No, he'd be standing on the because it goes up quite high, and he'd be standing on this ladder swinging this strimmer. And he'd be sort of leaning over the ladder and holding the strimmer in one hand. I get nervous looking at him.
Yeah.
But and he'd be a good age, this fella as well.
Is he?
I'd say he's in his 60s.
What's it, £10 an hour?
Fit as a butcher's dog. I can't remember how much he charged me last year. I think it was going well at the time, so it's like money's no object.
Jolly good. Okay, well, thank you for your wit and wisdom. Hopefully some winners as well. Thank you for listening and watching, and we will be back on Monday to review the weekend action.
The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They pay more extra places than any other bookie.